ba do
Pop, pop, pop.
do up up.
Come on. Do up, pop, pop, do up. Right,
Yeah,
Ryan's
yeah.
the acapella Cavalier party. You know, think of it. Yeah.
That's the sound of
The Cavaliers.
That's the
Akakawa?
Don't you know that's the sound of our Cavaliers trampling your whole party? You know,
Or would it be the Cavapellas?
the
Wait,
Cupellais?
Frank, you could take trample, bruh. If you have mounted combat already.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Hello, welcome to part 2. We're back. We're recording live. Tonight is a special behind-the-scenes look. If you were watching our Twitch live, you're actually going to see some behind-the-scenes stuff where I'll be recording, pausing the recording, and having to feed one of my own NPCs that is voiced by Jay Tamlin lines, because this character concept was created by Jay for this particular podcast. I said, can I borrow that character, use him for my own shenanigans, you voice him, play him when, you know, there's no plot, so he can play as a character in a dungeon. But he's pretty much going to be mine to control, and you get to voice him. And the coolest thing about this character is more than he appears. So if you get a little confused where I'm having a conversation with myself, and then one side of the conversation, Jay is like doing lines like an actor, it's because of that. In the uploaded version, podcast version, you are not going to hear this because we're going to be liberal with the pause button. But if you're watching our live show, there you go. One of the perks behind the scenes. Hello, welcome to Dice Before Dishonor. We have Jay Tamlin playing Leon. We have Aidan Willems playing Fafal. We have Ryan Messina playing Sir Bartholomew Donald Dagan. We have Matt Witt playing Sir Winston. Myself NPCing Barclay, and a host of other characters. And in the house tonight, just finishing off his new 3rd levels Paladin, Frank is chucking away at Hero Lab, but by the time we get to him, we'll be ready for him. And an opening scene where I've promised them something special, something they've been asking for an entire season. They've asked for this. I gave it to them in season 0. They have not seen it in season 1, but they will tonight, part 2 of the season finale. But to start tonight, like I said, that behind the scenes, I would like you to use your imagination. Now, we left our heroes leveling at 3rd level, coming to the surface, realizing about the slaughter, and I kind of posted it. I mean, we kind of went, oh, the king is dead. You're a Ronin. No, wait, you're a ranger. You're this, you're this, you're this, you're this. And the award goes to Aidan Willems for completely convincing me he was going to be a cavalier, but he was just playing into his new 2nd level's bard class of Brazen Deceptor. Well done. You all have a fresh hero point. That is good to know. It can save your life, give you huge bonuses, gentlemen, at 3rd level. We've been going with max hit points because, well, the only thing these guys are good at are combat. Social situations, even though they do have diplomacy, they do have intimidate, one guy has bluff. Everyone has sense motive, but no one uses it. Kind of gives me the bad habit of blurting things out. Tonight, I want to go back down into that dungeon. I want to go back in time to the night you all recently slept. You're all taking watches. And we're going to play out a little cutscene for you. Something's going to blow your mind. In the middle of the night, one Emistos Gullblend, who actually is with the Silent Brotherhood, has been playing possum, as it were, has been lying low amongst the sheep. Ingratiate himself to the party, not so much, but they bought it. Ingratiate himself to the nobles, well, when you're in a bunker in a crisis situation, of course you want a manservant. It was easy to win them over, easy to gain their trust, easy to play the patsy. And all 3 of them bought it. Hook, line, and sinker. Lord Boltos, Lady Gaeli, Sir Gastian, Plastian, all treated him like a second-class halfling citizen servant. And then, in the middle of the night, he did something that no one would expect. He waited till somebody was on watch, that they were distracted. Perhaps it was Fafal just sort of going through tunes in his head. Perhaps it was Bartholomew doing his morning calisthenics at 2 a.m. Whatever it was, this not zero level nobody commoner, this decently leveled rogue, chose his moment and slipped away. No one seemed to notice, except one. One in the party, not Fafal. Think about it. Wait a minute. Farth, didn't someone say that Juan drugged you so you'd have a good night's sleep and sleep through anything? That means Juan and Fafal are still on the suspect list. What would the kobolds care if they came and went? So it could have been Fafal that left the pampered room. It could have been Juan that left the pampered room. Bartholomew, Leon, well, it's kind of unlikely that someone left a note for himself. It'd be like triple deception, and I don't think even this goes under that. So I suppose we could rule out Leon. Barkley and Winston, they're just too cuddly. Their reaction to the deaths of the other halflings seemed too unique. Or was it planned? The nobles, not caring much about themselves and their own safety. Again, very easy place for a killer to hide. Somebody took note of Mr. Goldblend leaving the party, sneaking off on his own. Observed them, and then decided it was time to confront them. Now, what would somebody dressed like a halfling servant have to do for someone else to realize that they were more than they seemed? I mean, you'd have to do something really bad or really, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Maybe they were caught spying. The note said, watching you.
Yeah, but he's like, why would you leave a party to spy on a party? Or did he just leave to go after somebody else? Whatever he did, I'm going to skip to the part of the confrontation. I'm going to skip to the part where one lone figure decides to show not all their hand, but part of their hand to Mr. Goldblend to see what he does. And bear with me. I will be reading a scripted cutscene that I came up with in my head, and then I'll be asking Jay Tamlin to voice one of the NPCs, so he'll be repeating some of my lines. It might be a little confusing until you get to the post-edit, but bear with me for the moment.
Hell now. Mr. Goldblend, wasn't it? Or is it? There may be more to you than I thought there was.
I'm sorry, he says, suddenly covering up what, hopefully he thought you weren't seeing him do. I mean, the man is in that large fallen temple Arden room, okay, about 60 feet out from where Caesar was maybe watching you guys, or comes aware of you guys speaking now, amongst the bushes. He is literally like pretending to take a pee, or did, and then, I don't know, had a wet rag, washed himself up, and then started doing something. And this is where the second character had emerged from the shadows and confronts him. Goldblend trying to deflect. I didn't see you there. Sorry, not that I want one of your stature to see, what I was doing. And he wipes his hands and does up his belt. Terribly sorry. I'll look the other way if you need to go. And he just sort of pretends to I'll be on my way, and, goes to walk past this person. The second figure slowly draws their belt from around their waist. Goldblend just kind of cocks an eyebrow and says, I think that'll I'm sorry, I'm not really into that. Am I about to be punished? Did I do something wrong?
Indeed, there shall be punishment. But it's not for what you did, but for what you are planning to do. If you are who I believe you are.
I'm sorry. I don't think I quite follow you. I understand, as a member of upper society, that you have every right to punish Mr. Poor Goblin myself, but technically I have been working for the Senate, and my own lord and lady would not take kindly if you damage their property. If you excuse me, I'll be going. And Goblin steps out, but uses the sort of begging gesture to wave one hand and slowly reach for a weapon. This is noted by the person about to wield a belt, which is far more than just a leather strap. And they say,
I don't think that will quite do.
The person suddenly snaps their belt out and like a whip wields it, and it wraps around closely twice, almost as if it had a life of its own, around Goblin's neck, and then jerking Goblin stiffly towards them. The entire weapon turns solid, and the enraptured Goblin, now with a incredibly stiff as steel collar, begins to choke and gasp as our interloper pulls him in and quietly explains themselves.
Chalk it up to a conflict of interest, but unfortunately I cannot have, despite your best efforts to impede and affect these group, I cannot have you affecting my mark. Now, I do have a chance for you to live for you. If you can answer me, are you alone here?
Mistaking this chance that allies would be a bad idea to kill him, and blood rushing no longer to his head, his wits aren't completely about him. Deciding that saying he's alone is a death sentence and saying he has allies was the right choice, his eyes widen and he nods his head vigorously. Unfortunately for him.
Oh, that is problematic. You see, if it was just you, I could simply stow you away. But if there's more of you, well, come along.
By this point, Goblin is on his last gasps, nearing unconsciousness and death, and keels over, not even waiting for the man to die or giving him any respite. The figure just literally starts walking away, holding the end of the belt, which is now a rod stiff as steel, with a collar too short, too tight for the man's neck, and pulling him along like a man catcher. Goblin expires before they reach their destination. So, what happens next? I believe you gentlemen might be able to piece together from the crime scene. But there are still something missing. If the killer left, Goblin knew who they were. If they're posing as someone in the party, they would have to be here still. Goblin went missing, Goblin was killed, and Goblin was found dead. So we're still a person up. Now, I asked you guys in the last session, do you guys go back and retrieve the nobles? Like, yep. Do you guys follow them over? Do you guys look them over? Nope. But I believe between sessions, somebody had a plan. You guys do have time. You gather up your nobles, you get them up to safety, and on the surface, did you want to put said plan in action, or What is the
It
plan?
wouldn't hurt.
What is the plan, gentlemen? What do you want to do? You learn the prince is dead. You learn Lothid is disappeared. Got separated from the princess, who is, no longer in the city and en route somewhere and locked up. Good luck finding her. And the place is just turned into chaos. There are riots in the streets. Everyone's walling up factions. We learn that.
I think it's a good idea to check the safe house.
Okay. But what about our nobles that promised us money? Cash in, leave them be? Or do we believe the murder suspect is either a cleric or one of those three nobles? Anyone? And what would we do about it?
I'll leave the decision making to my betters.
Well, Barkley believes, but no one can understand me, so that just leaves the rest of you.
I believe Fall has a skill set better suited to solve this riddle.
And while we're leading them out, I would also like to try to collect some information to help with that. As they're leaving, they would notice the bodies kind of sitting on the ground. I'm looking to see if there's any reactions untowards from people that would normally not expect to see bodies of halflings lying on the ground.
Okay.
So, sense motive on the reactions of the people.
When you guys return, no one says we found a way out. No one says we found bodies. You guys are just like, come with us. We've cleared some rooms.
Oh, no, we would be forthcoming. I mean, we'd escort the nobles out, and say, we found these unfortunates dead here. Move along. And usher them out and try to gauge their reactions to these.
Sure. Okay.
Kind of surreptitiously.
Okay.
Gathering what I can, and then I think we would probably tap on their resource the next day or so.
Okay. Now, do you guys want to go solo on this, or do you want to start with what Leon said and what Frank is obviously following up? Do you guys want to have one lead sense motive and have everybody aid another for a super roll to spot your man, or do you guys just want to everyone rolls and they're looking at you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely try to aid other, go for success.
Super roll.
Yeah.
I will aid Leon in his sense motive.
Okay.
I will take a 10, granting Leon a +3 on his sense motive.
I will aid nobody.
How
I have a -2 in sense motive.
How many people can aid?
Up to 2.
2?
So who's our lead?
Well, I will take 10 and give them +4. So somebody who can give a +3.
Okay.
Yep, I did that already. So that's +7. Damn.
Okay.
And I'll take lead because I can re-roll.
All right. So on that note,
It sucks I'm a level 2 bard.
I mean, versatile performance is convenient sometimes.
could be very, very, very convenient. So
I believe I lose out on versatile performance.
we're
Well, the replacements are usually better than it anyway, so.
back up and running, guys. So those rolls: sense motive, lead, follow, back up, lead again. What?
What?
Yeah, exactly.
I think Jay was the lead and everybody else was assisting, giving him a
+7.
+7 to his roll.
Question is, did your guys actually level? Because it says you're only 2nd level.
Aw.
I don't know. Told her to replace the file, went through all that trouble.
That says Cavalier 2, Paladin 1.
Well, some of you made it, some of you don't. We'll sort it out next time
All right.
to fake some. But if you think you're, down a level, we'll just have to
Always.
get +1 to hit.
Yeah, I'm currently level 2.
Okay.
Mine's is level 3.
So either I've grabbed the wrong download, but I got the ones that just came in, so.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, everything looks right to me.
Well, the important people, like Barkley, have leveled. Moving on. So, about those sense motives. Did you guys, anyone put ranks in that?
Yes.
You put to deny, so you get yourself a little +1 modifier on your raw roll or your other.
Yeah,
roll.
no. According to the feat description, I can pick the out of the list of spirit animals. It specifically says. It doesn't say pick one.
Yeah, I think you pick at the beginning of the day.
So Barkley communes with this, or
No, I commune with it,
okay?
and it grants Barkley
Technically,
abilities.
you guys are still second level when you're doing these sense motives as they prayed out of the room. So there you go. Anyway, let's have them. Who's our lead?
Sans motive.
Oh, so this is second level?
Well, technically, when you guys were watching them before you'd left, right?
Sans motive.
So
Okay, in which case I don't need to ask my question from before.
10. I aid successfully.
who are you aiding? Who's our lead on this? Was it Leon or was it?
That is me.
Okay,
It was Leon.
Leon, and then Frank kind of came around the other way of similar idea. So let's do it.
I took.
So,
Hmm?
Go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I took the safe route because I can't roll very well, so
Mm.
I took a 10.
Brand new game, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm using the fact that as a Vinmark, I constantly have to be judged by people and constantly figure out what they really want out of me,
Okay.
which allows me to roll sense motive twice and take the better result.
Oh, your Vinmark power. Yeah, we really haven't
Yes.
used some of those campaign traits a lot. You did, to smuggle in your bow. Has anyone actually used their campaign-specific trait besides Leon?
Yes, all the time.
Doing what?
Yeah, making people like him better.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine really doesn't do much for me in general.
Well,
I have Batman's superpower. I'm rich.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they're like, when they say campaign, that's like 6 books. You could come up later,
Yeah.
so. Okay. So, with Leon's 12 and then 22, pick a number here.
That is a 22 for the sense motive check.
I'm looking at 2. I'm looking at Leon sense
Yes.
motive 12. Leon sense motive
Yes.
22. And you're using
My
your special
ability-
power. Vinmark judges
Noble
you.
Scion.
I know. So you're I just thought it was funny that it went from 7 to 17. You're like, don't judge me. Get 10. They all like ashamedly. Oh. Oh. Okay. You sense that they're all ashamed that you're looking at them, but Lord Boltos comes in and immediately stops and demands to know what's going on. What is this? Because you guys have them all ceremoniously laid out and didn't tell us that there were bodies. And you guys are all like fanned out along the room watching us like a parade. Come this way, and they all back off and see their reaction, right? So it looks like you're presenting the bodies from our point of view. So, Lady Boltos, what is the meaning of this? Oh, recognizing Gullblend, right? You found him. Did you find... He looks confused, right? There's 2 males, 1 female, all halfling. Boltos isn't really looking himself, besides actually the red hair kind of gives him away in the red mutton chop, so even in his bloated state, yeah.
I'll try to play it down. You know, just a reminder that this place is dangerous and we should be moving on.
Okay, now you guys did say you composed them, so they're not like weird. You know, it looks like you've laid out bodies,
Yeah.
but...
And just show them proper respect.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, yeah, no, fine with your answer, and you guys don't seem to get a ping from him. Moves. Oh, I suppose I should, you guys have a sense motive over, let's assume that everyone is bluffing, right? Plus my modifiers. Okay. Only one could be the culprit. I am only going to roll once, and I'm going to hold that number. But I'm starting with Boltos because he is suspect. Next in line, Juan, our trusty cleric. Now, he's seen some action with you guys. So, again, what his reaction is like, what's Boltos talking about? Looks at the bodies, looks at you guys, and actually comes over. Who do I usually interact with? One usually goes for... Sorry?
I'm his best friend, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he asks you, what happened?
Looks like our friend met an unfortunate end,
Oh,
presumably in the night.
do they need treatment? Smiling at you, hoping you'll be paid for him to do health checks or something, or try to save them, or,
I do believe it may be a little beyond that.
Last rites?
Will probably be performed by their families.
Oh, I suppose if they're not off the faith. All right. On he moves. Next we have Sir Gryphus Plastion. Comes in. Right? Warrior, a knight. Like you guys, if he's disgusted, revolted, or whatever, he doesn't seem to show it. And again, is coming in at the back of the line, listening to people, what is the meaning of this? And, do you want last right type of thing? And, he just comes over. He has, though, like, Boltos is, like, leading. So Sir Glastian has sort of falls back, and, like, even though Boltos bosses him and the lady around, he does make sure that the lady is well. So he'll actually turn, I think, to the lady and say, "Lady, please brace yourself. It is not pretty." What? What is the meaning of it? Like with way back line coming through the doorway. What's with all the bells? That kind of thing. The lady comes in and sees what's going on and immediately, hand to her lips, seems shocked. "I'm sorry, my lady." And Gryphus, like, jumps in front of her. "You shouldn't have to see this. No, it's fine. I'm just happy we're finally getting out of here, because you guys did say, we found a way, type of thing." So they have a little bit of a back and forth, but again, everyone seems in character. Everyone seems to be reacting not exactly the way you thought they might, but a knight seems to be knightly. The lady seems to be, like, she is worldly. She doesn't turn over and start throwing up at the sight of a body. "Oh, how dreadful." Oh shit. And 3 halfling servants, seems to care a little bit. Boltos, who adopted Goldblend, you're going to work for, you saw some interaction with Goldblend sucking up to them, and they all just kind of treated, Boltos took it in. The other two, not so much. It's fine, we're good. It's fine, we're good. "Oh, thank you. It's kind of you to polish my shoes," but you know what I mean? Like, no one took advantage of Boltos no one took advantage of Goldblend except for Boltos. But again, he just wanted to be in charge of someone, because it was very obvious that he was not in charge here, though he tried to act it. And you guys have caught that through the entire adventure. You know what I mean? Like, he puffed himself up, but he also, like, okay, well, you guys go ahead. I'm paying you. So, with a 22 and a +3 from Winston, anyone else trying to aid?
I believe it was a +4 from
+4
Winston.
from me.
+4 from Winston. Anyone else trying to aid in this?
Halfling helpfulness training.
I was helping
Right.
as well.
Okay. So, for you to take 10, you need time. But the lucky thing is you guys have time to study them. You parade them through the room, you get no ping, but you guys continue to watch them. And for your aid and others to help each other, you guys need to compare notes. So by the time you guys leave and reach the horror of the surface and have observed them the entire time and finally compare notes, okay, these guys are, leaving, going back to their lives. We do have a suspect. There is someone that drops the mask, or you watch them do something that seems, shall we say, unladylike.
Oh my.
Oh my. A little bit unladylike. Kept up a good show. Anyway, they're all returning to their lives, but they leave as a pack. And if we currently compare notes and suspect Lady Gale Urbine as our possible killer, or at least somebody that's, like I said, we're sensing motive to see if somebody's not fitting the bill, it's her. What would you guys do?
Follow her, or see if a fall can follow her and see if she makes contact with anybody. And if so, try to get an accurate depiction or description of that person, and then follow up through that.
Okay. Fafal. Lord Varth, you just put this on Fafal? Give him the order, as it were? Do this?
No, I'll ask him.
Okay.
I mean, I don't feel I have the right to demand him. I mean,
Okay.
he's not in my employ.
I thought he was.
Nope. He calls himself my servant. I'm not going to discourage that kind of behavior, but I'm certainly not going to take advantage of it.
Oh, okay. I thought all that time you guys spent at Kadira Mountain and the money you gave him, he just kind of... It's okay. So, Fafal,
Yes.
your buddy / lord says, hey, you know that person that we suspect has killed 3, not 1, 3 trained Thief Guild members, Silent Guild, on the whole. Got 1 down, then took on 2 more, stashed a whole bunch of bodies, infiltrated, re-infiltrated, and left the party with little trace, and left a message for Leon. You could take care of that alone, right? This is what's going through your brain. You got this, buddy.
Yeah.
Care to hire some help? You got any money left? Like, what do you guys want to say?
Perhaps there may be someone that would be more attuned to this particular line of work.
I would just hate to see that this is the last time we ever heard from Fafal, because if somebody, like I said, if the Kitsune thinks someone's trailing them, guess, especially from your own party, it's like, okay. All right.
Yeah, and could you get it on that, like, right meow?
Yeah.
Right, meow.
Well,
Yeah. Meow,
no,
please.
we were promised coin from all the nobles. We could be like, we'll go find you other guys. We'll go with her first. Get the coin from her when she gets home. We were promised.
Escort the lady home.
Yeah.
Escort the lady home.
Yeah.
Like, we could go in with that.
Okay. Well, the nobles ingratiate themselves to their surroundings. Guards, do you know who I am? Possibly they get outside, the surviving people that might know them. People approach them, all 3. Except Gryphus. He's Sir So-and-so, and it's like he would be someone that would approach somebody else. He stays with her, and Bolton is approached by people, and anyway, carriages, we'll wait for our carriages, family members, anyway. They promise you their money, and you get the idea, sense motive again if you wish, that their money is good. They have to arrange it. It's not like they're going to go home and like, oh, this is worth $300, right? You want this jewelry? Yeah, I think I have a vault. Yeah, let's go to the vault and show you where the vault is. They will take you home. They will make you comfortable. They thank you for their lives. They'll stick you in the parlor, and you'll be waiting for an hour, but you'll get your cash. But they won't be unescorted, just so you know. And even if this killer is playing the part, they will be with their own people that believe they are the person. Okay? So you guys do. But you're going to have to split the party. Boltus goes one way. Gryphus and her go to her place. Everybody on her? Or...
Well, I can go with Gryphus if that's an issue. If we need to.
No, Gryphus is with Lady So-and-so. He wants to escort her home. They've gotten close, He's been helping with the dungeon. Yeah.
As much as I appreciate collecting on money, I think our first priority is figuring out where Lady Lothide disappeared to. Because if we're suspecting her as our killer, gesturing to the lady that was in there with us,
Mm-hmm.
who is our prime suspect, she isn't just going to up and disappear. She's a lady of power, of stature. She isn't just going to disappear into the night. Plus,
And
me
before we
following
could-
her by myself, those 3 were trained thieves, at the very least, if not assassins. As much as I would like to say I am very capable, which I am, that's a little above my pay grade at the moment to do by myself.
Indeed. And before we can even assume that she is the culprit, we will need more substantial evidence. Is there not someone we know that may be better equipped to collecting said evidence? We
Not
do
to
have.
mention we find ourselves woefully unprepared for battle. Gentlemen, we should take a moment and gather our belongings.
That's why I thought you guys want to be paid out. Well,
See to our mounts.
technically, you guys do know 2 spies. One has disappeared. The other one Fafal knows, though you're all acquainted with her. The Sovereign Court faction leader, Lady Gloriana Marilla.
We could also check the warehouse that I remember half of the name for.
Oh, Fall remembers the rest of the name for.
Well, you guys have a little gather info time, and you can learn all kinds of stuff, like, does Lady Bean have any Taishan retainers or somebody that would teach her the language? She's not a countryman of Jay's. This is the problem. But Jay's keeping some of that to himself. Though he's, look, haiku and blah, 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 and there's my name and type of thing. It's like, the one thing I'm assuming that's keeping you guys from pouncing on the lady is she's not one of Leon's countrymen, and there's no retainers that we've seen so far. It's like, what's with the calligraphy? Why the special message for Leon from the killer? Or do we have two people? Do we have a killer? And then somebody came along going, oh crap, wow. So body, I bet Leon will find these bodies. Yep. Also knowing what they did. Considering our cutscene, though, that's unlikely. So, gather info, gentlemen. You're on the surface. We have some time. You want to collect yourselves. You want to get paid, right? If you guys want to keep her in your sights and track her movements, that is not hard. She goes home. You know, we would suspect that she's been through an ordeal and she wants to rest at her villa. That kind of thing, right? People fawn over her. Oh, you must have been through all this stuff, right? Anything you want. Juan, right, gets to settle up with you guys. He had a tab. He owes you. You owe him, you know. And we'll return to the closest temple. He is Sargassian and visiting whatever the closest thing to a temple here in Taldor might be. All of his representatives have been wiped out. He was here with Boltos, so he goes with him. So we have Sir Plastian going with the lady, and you have Juan. You know, Boltos is like, hey, I can look after you. I brought you the party, and, you know, that type of thing. Give him a ride to the temple. Okay. And they exit stage left. So, hours pass. We gather our wits. We clean ourselves up. We return to our homes. Hey, what about our own little parlor? You guys want to go back to that nobleman that, you know, we're always having tea and stuff?
Yeah.
We go back there?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. I go find Mukage, probably grazing by the castle walls.
Okay. Did you guys want to follow the nobles, split the party, camp out in the parlors, get paid, and then go back? Or do you want to do this first? You want to, like, recoup and come up with a plan first?
I think the minute that she gets the ability to contact somebody, she's going to try to. So it would be nice if we could just see if that happens.
So you definitely want eyes on her.
That would be nice.
And are we just going to hire someone, or is that Fall's new job?
I'm in no position to hire anybody.
Neither am I.
So go home.
Until
it
we
is.
collect our payments, anyways.
I'm willing to do it, but we should also get in contact with Lady Gloriana. She might have some ideas about what's going on here.
Certainly, at the very least, more information.
Exactly. I can set up a meeting. I do know her.
All right. And I can always kind of beat the noble brush, if it will, to see if I can gather any information on her, any rumors of new hirelings or old hirelings that are relatively exotic.
Okay.
I'll try checking with the workers of the workers that would be around her abode. Some may have picked up something off of the streets.
Okay. Anything else?
And break.
I suppose after that we shall meet back at our own safe place.
The Tipsy Nut.
I meant your parlor. You know, that nobleman that just likes to be. He's always out of town. You guys are always like using his place, or always have his manservant serves you drinks, all that.
I believe the parlor is above the Tipsy Night, is what he was getting at.
Oh, is that what it was? I thought it was like the brownstone. Like it was you know, a house in swanky Opera. In the nicer part of town, right? Downtown.
It's where all the nobles go who say they want to rub shoulders with the common folk, but no, it's all the common folk are actually just, you know, actors.
Okay. And then upstairs, Buddy had the apartment, and you guys were rubbing elbows and meeting zebras and all that stuff, right? Okay. So, I guess we're going to pull up a map of Opara and talk about...
Its majesty.
What's that?
The majesty of Opara.
Oh, it's big. It is big. So, several...
Opara.
It goes again. There he goes into a song again. Gather info. A whole bunch of it.
Okay.
Leon with
It's a 22.
Okay. The servants, the people around, she's been gone. She went to the gala, and she just returned, apparently thanks to you guys. They are very appreciative that they brought her lady home. And after you guys wait, and she, you know, immediately comes and talks to Chamberlain, and, you know, she's exhausted anyway. She tells him a sum that was promised, and just lets the servants and house, you know, like, arrange the money and pay you guys out, and retires to her chambers. Thanks, Gryphon, for here, but she'll be fine. She just needs rest, and leaves Gryph's, you know, Plastian with you guys in the parlor for a while. And then after a little while, he takes his leave, you know, making sure that she's okay. He is a poor knight. So what he does is he basically, you know, digs, pulls, you know, just like Leon, right? Pulls a valuable personal piece of jewelry from his clothing, and, you know, explains that his family is wealthy, but all their money is tied up, and it's I that owe you, not only for my safety, but, you know, for those that I felt were in my charge. And he gives you guys a ruby pendant that obviously is, you know, down deep and sentimental value, and probably from his family. He doesn't say it, my mother gave me this or whatever, but he very strongly, you know, I want you to have this. Dig, 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 dig. And he pulls out a beautiful ruby pendant that's obviously worth, you know, the money he owes you guys if you sell it on the street. Please take this. Now, you're sure he could probably wrangle up the money in a couple days or whatever, but he seems really adamant about you get this now. I mean, you guys like, pay us, lady. Pay us, Bolton. He's like, oh, right. Oh, me too. Oh, here, I would not be on my honor. You know, here you go. Take it, take it, take it.
Yeah, it will be kept safe. If you wish to trade back, this does seem quite personal to you.
Yes, well, I suppose I could arrange the money in a fortnight or two, but the agreement was, no, upon my word, I promise that when we exit it, and the others have already paid you, you know, on my honor, you should take this now.
And indeed I shall.
And it should be held as collateral.
Anyway, he doesn't let go. You're like, a fortnight's only 20 days, man. 10 days. You sure? Okay, fine, take it. Prick. Foreign bad. In said parlor. Who is here in said parlor? No one went with Boltos? You guys are just gonna follow her, check her out, and then maybe make the rounds?
Yeah.
Okay. I
thought that was the plan.
Yeah, okay. So you're all here, and you see this exchange with Leon. You know, Leon kind of gives him an option, but he's pretty adamant about shoving the ruby at him. You guys could probably talk him down if you want. You could change his mind that, you know, it's honorable, but we would not be on it, type of thing. That's up to you guys. I'm not saying you're shamed or anything, but
if we denied him the opportunity to pay like he said he would, then
It would
we're
insult.
impugning his honor.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's all, hey, look at it. See, we've earned an honorable lesson today. I'm just curious how you guys would react if I gave you the option.
We get it.
Okay.
We get it.
Anyway, he shakes each one of your hands. Thank you. Thank you. Warrior grasp. Thank you. My friends. And little misty-eyed, exits and, on foot. Back to the Senate for my horse. It's somewhere in the barracks, right? I think I rode there. Damn it. That kind of thing. No, he escorted the carriage here on horseback, so he goes to his horse at the stable that Lady Balin has and exits. And that's him. And you guys are paid by him. And you guys wait the proverbial hour or whatever, and their chamberlain comes with a little box and, pays you in whatever they could get together. They value in silver or half gold or, but you guys are paid in cash. Here you go. I think it was like 300 a head. Yeah.
That is what you said.
Yeah, no, 300. The some platinum, some silver to like cushion it, but it's mostly gold, and the total value in said box is 300 gold.
Yep.
Apologies, my lady is resting. If there wasn't be anything else, gentlemen, I would ask that you let my lady rest and, check on her tomorrow, or, we'll send a, he's polite going, do come back. I mean, you guys handed her boss's life to this guy. So the Chamberlain treats you guys with respect, respectfully asks you to leave now. Here's your money, but, come tomorrow, please. She'll be in better sorts, and, she's single. You guys look like a good lot, yeah.
All right. So
She's a dog lover, it's like, yeah, gotta look out of my lady. Bit of a meddler, this butler.
Let's just make the rounds, pick up our money, and divvy it out, and maybe look at maybe it's a good opportunity to, reflect.
Okay.
We can't openly attack this lady. We don't have any evidence. We just have a suspicion, and there are other things that we should be focusing on. We should re-equip ourselves and go in search of Lady Lottie.
So while you guys are around town gathering other information, right? Mm-hmm. Are you guys going to spend the money given to you by the three nobles? Are you going to cash in the amulet?
No.
I would prefer not to cash in the amulet.
Okay.
now.
Yeah,
Hang on to that. Okay.
I don't want to do that
Okay.
either.
Boltos gives you straight up 300 gold and offers you guys a drink and, and is a typical lord, basks in his own glory, thanks you guys profusely, wants to organize a parade, starts talking about cousins that you guys could marry, but a lot of this is going towards Lord Samish. However, he stops treating the rest of you guys like secondhand dudes. You know what I mean? He speaks openly, politely, and respectfully to all of you now. But he fawns on Varth because he's, the human in line to the throne. That's who I want my cousin to marry. I mean, it's just no offense, dude, but
This broken family tree that it looks now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go adventure.
Well, basically what he's trying to do is he's trying to get one of his lesser nobles in the family to marry up. And that would be you. Vinmark technically qualifies, but a bit of a scandal that the Thai guy, technically on paper and all this stuff, he's every bit as noble as you. But again, the conditions of the Vinmark family adopted him under certain mysterious circumstances. This is the thing Jay was on to me about once about, what am my status versus Varth? It's like, oh, you mean the Vinmark family that kidnapped and ransomed your mother back to you and has adopted you? That secret kind of gets not out, but is around. And there are nobles that are kind of going, that kind of thing. And just because you're a foreigner, it's enough for that disdain. Now, he still owns the name and he still can order people around. But the way they treat him is kind of off. Okay? Same way Lothie's treated. She's half Kadarian. You can see it on her face. And again, she's like, I had to fight tooth and nail. The only person who treats her with any respect are you guys. And The princess, who she was college roommates with. Did you guys notice at the party every time she spoke with you guys, she was alone or had a one-on-one? She wasn't like hanging out with a bunch of nobles being the center of attention going, ha! They all shunned her. This is the exact same treatment that I believed that Taldor would give someone like the way Jay's character was built. So just to explain, in case there's any fans or any discrepancies about like, well, I took it in the book, I should, or yeah, sure, but like I said, for the flavor of it, you know, he can pull rank, he can do all kinds of stuff. But just like Lothith herself, there is that sort of uphill in the role play that's going to constantly be there. So, engagement party for you, Varth, and my second cousin's former roommate in 2 weeks. And, you know, if you guys enjoy the expensive Scotch whiskey, and then Rockstar out of there at the polite amount of time, right? So it doesn't poo-poo your name and continue our, you know, adventure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. The re-equipping part, right? You guys have cash, like fresh cash. You guys want to spend it to groom the horses, sharpen blades, gather any potions? Yep. Hey, does anyone like to buy any magical cure potions? Because we're down a cleric. You know, like,
Yeah, I could use some healing.
like 300 gold. Well, it's cheaper to go.
Just gonna
it's cheaper to
put on all the stuff that was strapped to my horse when we got sucked away.
Yeah. I'm gonna read my scale mail.
Scale armor.
It's just,
Yeah,
he's just
banded mail.
gets naked in the stable on the street.
Strap the lance
just
in
right
on the
there,
saddle.
just-
I missed
That
you.
shit off of me.
That's
I'm gonna keep that longsword. Now that longsword, was it magical? Because I lost all the stuff that I had gained in the dungeon. So I have the crossbow. I have
the weapons you guys found in the storeroom. A couple were masterwork, but not magical. You had some pings from Fafal and from Juan, and there was some crossover with the stuff you guys were carrying. But I believe they ID'd going, well, we don't know what it does, but yes, that is magical. That is not. I'm pretty sure if we check the party gear, that besides the crossbow, you know.
There were like some magical weapons and stuff, but
yeah, there was like the +1 hand axe that Samish got. There was a cool shield that Samish is walking around with, which is much more like it's an ancient, you know, Taldor first, you know, wave the flag, as opposed to that Saren Ray thing that was such a, you know, even though you're paladin out. Would you like to go buy a holy symbol? Sapphire, 250 gold. Ooh. Wooden one, 5 gold. And there's a whole bunch in between. No? Frank?
Sorry.
Do you want to go buy a holy symbol of Saren Ray now that you're down a shield?
Oh no, I have money.
Yeah.
I just didn't have money on me.
Okay. Well, if you want to start using your powers, may I suggest you go buy a focus, hence a Saren Ray holy symbol. You don't have to like wear it outwardly, but it needs to be, you know, down in there and pullable when the right spell or whatever happens, right? Now, the paladin we're leaning into, I think, is not, though you are a name in Saren Ray, technically a lot of your powers actually don't need a focus. I don't think so. And you're like 4 levels away from a spell, but so it's up to you. If you want your, when you can't.
Oh, no, I would get a small book of scripture and a holy symbol.
Okay. And
just because I feel that would be appropriate.
Okay. Yeah, you pull it out in your own time, or like I said, anything would denote you to the faith openly. Do you like your new shield, or you want to go back to the old shield that had Saren Ray all over it, or?
No, I'm gonna keep, unless somebody needs it more than I do, I will keep the upgraded shield.
Okay.
I mean,
I can
go
part with the
fawn over
+1
new
hand
equipment,
axe.
but I can't really afford stuff I need.
You guys were all paid like $300. That's like you guys have 900 gold now from 3 nobles.
Yeah, longbows are freaking expensive, man.
Okay.
Oh, here, Jay. I'll offer up the +1 hand axe. That's really not a weapon I would prefer to use. It was just out of necessity here. I would much rather use my longsword.
The bowman's like, yeah, thanks, I can.
Yeah, no, you can sell it.
I mean,
yes,
to the market I go.
Well, it's $2,000 +1 weapon. You can sell for 1,000 gold pieces pretty easily. Plus,
that should get you a pretty spiffy bow.
Unless I don't know if it's racist to ask if there's any half orcs or dwarves in the party that would like a +1 hand axe. Selling off magical stuff as we move on into the adventures, like they're giving you magical weapons to fight magical creatures, but we're going to sell them all and go back to masterwork. Don't blame me.
Yeah, I think we should check with Bartholomew first.
He has his. Don't you have a log with a skull on it for a lance? I think he's.
I have a orc skull ramp.
Yeah.
I am a walking
Yeah.
weapon smithery.
Yeah, he's,
When I get back to my horse.
magic is not an issue.
Yeah.
He's all guile.
No, Leon, if you need this to generate some currency, by all means.
So we're going to re-equip.
I'm pretty sure the longsword I had was magical. Or maybe or masterwork at least.
Likely. I'm just trying to look through here. You guys, if you had it on your... We got crystalware, we got jewelry worth hundreds of dollars that we haven't really looked into. You guys were walking around the portable lab. Alchemist lab, you have a couple scrolls, you know. And then there's... Who got what? Varth, backpacks, belt pouches, canteens, dagger... +1 heavy steel shield was the shield upgrade. Swords, rapiers. Nope. Rapier.
Oh, the wand that I gave for fall.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's. Besides that hand axe and the crossbow, which is quite something. Now,
yeah, can you drop that on my character and I'll...
Now, you guys are walking around with like an iconic landmark. Would you guys want to like tell someone? Or are you just going to like, oh, we'll hang on to this? Not our fault the museum lost it. I mean, it's not lost on you guys that the replica was displayed in the arcade of Triumphant Treasures of the State. And now you guys found the real thing in the basement. And it's like...
I mean, if the princess survived...
Going to give her a call?
Yeah, I think right now things are too tumultuous for us to be like, oh, we're going to return this to the Senate, you know.
Well, amongst your gathering info within the 24 hours, because we're going to take a day, like, we obviously don't want to leave Lothid hanging too long, but you guys really need 12 hours to 24 to get your shit together, right? We learn that Grand Prince Davian III is dead, that Maxillar Pytharius is solidifying power in an opposite camp of the princess, and on top of him, hundreds of nobles are coming forward, laying claim to throne and laying claim to this and laying claim to that, and there's all kinds. It's just chaos, and we'll get back to that. But I would like to end this episode with a scene. Lady Guerrilla Marilla does give us the information. We do find out about a very special place called the repository that Lady Lothid had, kind of an Area 51, a warehouse. And I take you to that scene now where you guys from Morelia's agents find that there are unidentified men inside, like dozens of them. She can take care of some on the perimeter, but you guys are going to have to deal with what's inside.
Okay.
I'd like to give you a scene. Gentlemen, there's a large double door, like a warehouse door, that someone could easily unlock and open because the lock's on the outside. It's probably not barred on the inside if you're lucky. Or maybe Guerrilla can just arrange, instead of killing people, to unlock that door. And what would they find if suddenly those doors were swung open? A whole bunch of bandits and bad guys inside holding your hostage? 2 cavaliers on horses, 1 cavalier on a wolf, and a former samurai also on a horse, lined up and ready for mounted combat. Next season on Dice Before Dishonor. Say goodnight, everyone.
Night,
Night, everyone.
folks.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. The Mongers Podcast Network is proud to present Dicewise Entertainment's Dice Before Dishonor, the idea that several cavaliers, 1 class, in a mosh of a War for the Crown campaign could work. We played an entire 0-level campaign prologue series to test it. We are well into, if not just finishing book 1, but we're going to cap the season here due to, unfortunately, world working and other events. We're going to have to shelf this one for a little while, ladies and gentlemen. But we thank you so much for watching, so much for listening, and we will do our darndest to come back to it. I'm GM Jeff Ball, and I really, really, really would like to thank my players and the listeners for their interest in this. There has only been a few other podcasts that attempted to do War for the Crown. They've all been very good, their unique flavor. Paizo is backing one. Crystal Fraser, who is the lead director and designer, is actually doing one. And you guys. And word gets around that we've actually been voted best audio quality.
Yay.
Yep. Shittiest players, the DM sucks, but audio quality, we're on top. So thank you.
Hey, we did a thing.
We did a thing.
Woo.
Thank you.
We did a thing.
And good night.